What?
I can tickle from the outskirts, can't I?
Yeah.
Stating my intentions.
Right, are we on?
Yeah.
Right, okay, welcome. First thing we're supposed to do safety. The exits are there, and that's the station is in the car park as far away from the building as possible. There's also another emergency exit there through the kitchen and out, and there's one there, which is currently covered by some boxes.
No, it's not.
Oh, no, it's not. All right, okay, fine. Any apologies or anything?
Yeah, Councillor Cross has apologised.
Yeah, okay, that's got to be forgiven.
Yeah.
Okay, the reason I'm because of a family bereavement, Councillor Cross, I assisted John in putting this agenda together. The idea of the agenda is to capture the situation that is at the moment. We've got two new councillors to this meeting. You weren't on them.
I was.
Was you? Oh, okay. All right, one new councillor, Steve wasn't. So I'm quite prepared to carry on with this agenda if necessary, but the idea is the first item is to elect a chair for this one meeting.
Can we put in a public?
I propose Daniel.
Can we put in a public domain why we're not electing the chair of the committee today? Explanation.
As a politeness to the Councillor Cross.
That's fair enough.
It's in public domain.
Okay, I'll second Ken.
Anybody else? John, right, okay. Moving on. Chairman's request.
To vote.
We've only got one proposal.
Why do you want to vote?
Well, usually.
No, there's only one proposal, that's it. I won't, come on, for God's sake, don't start it.
Right, Chairman's request, if you switch your mobiles off, please. I have to remind you, so that's, you assume that's done. Recording and filming of the meeting, by being here, you have given your permission to be recorded.
Yep.
Basically. Okay, we've had apologies for absence, Councillor Cross. Yeah, do we have to accept her, we have to vote to accept? All right, I propose we accept Councillor Cross's apology for absence. It looks fairly serious to me.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Can I have a second, please?
Second that.
Jan, right, all those in favour? That's everybody,
We
right?
have to.
Sorry?
No, we have, I'm going to stay. We haven't really voted.
Declarations of interest and dispensations.
There are a couple of items on the agenda I'm campaigning for, or I'm very vocal mine, or by other means. So if we can to use, I'll just refer the time.
Yeah,
I've already said what I think.
okay, good. To approve the minutes of the meeting held on the 21st of March. Any comments? Any
I will abstain because I wasn't here.
good reason?
Unfortunately, but I wasn't on the committee.
I don't know whether that excludes you from,
Yeah, he wasn't part of the committee.
Excluded from that. I can't really choose something.
okay. All right, so all those that are able,
You were sitting out at the time.
all those that are able, can I accept the minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Now then, representations from members of the public.
Mhm.
We have someone here,
Angela Bowler.
Angela Bowler, and would like to speak about the Ascot Road.
I'm happy to come across around the agenda. So
So you have to sit here.
yes,
Okay,
thank you
good.
very
Thank you very much. Moving on.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, didn't see you there.
Roger.
We talked earlier.
Jonathan, come to talk about community speed watch and quite happy to do it when we read.
You sure?
January.
Okay, right, good. All right. Moving on. Branch report.
Yeah, the only thing I'd like to mention is the fact that when the police were in here having a meeting, they said that in terms of the travellers, if there had been an event organised for the Green, then they could have moved them quicker. That's it.
Well, someone's going to say it, so I'll say it.
Meeting on Monday, isn't it really? I think that's not the.
It will be, well, I don't know about that.
Okay.
I would say that that's contrary to, legislation,
experience.
I believe. Moving on. Village gateways. We've heard about village gateways. This is, one of Suzanne's projects. I suggest we leave it to Suzanne to come back to this committee. Well,
I was going to propose we defer it because it's not straightforward and needs a bit more time. We've got a lot on the agenda, Chairman.
Yeah.
exactly right. So,
Agree.
we move on, yeah? Report from Suzanne, shall we? I know the difficulty will be finding land to put the gateways on because it'll be on RBWM land and that will be the difficulty. Suzanne's an RBWM councillor, so she's in a position perhaps to move that along. So we'll leave that, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, moving on. Approval to arrange a meeting with lead highways officers. This is probably in the wrong place in the agenda, but there are a number of topics here which I think will end up needing to be taken to RBWM. For example, the roundabout out here, Byfield Crossroads, the safe route to Hollyport College, which we'll hear from you, Leo. There's also the missing link on the A308.
Yeah.
And there's the impact of the Bray scheme and the 2,000 plus houses, 900 of which would be in Bray Parish. And Harvey still is in Bray Parish. So, although there's a vote there, I think we move on and take that on later when we've decided what topics should be taken to RBWM.
So just to say that Councillor Cross has actually provided an update regarding the missing link. And when we come to that, I will provide an
We'd be pleased to hear it.
Yeah, so yeah, I think we should defer that to when Councillor Cross is here next.
What, the missing link?
No, the items you just raised as perhaps needing a discussion with RBWM.
Oh, fine, okay. Moving on, possibility of a roundabout Fifield Road, Oakley Green Road. This is something that we got to talking to RBWM about back in 6 years ago, including the detailed drawing and a plan. The plan was there was some talk about needing extra land, and I believe OGAFCA was looking to talk to the local landowners to facilitate this. The problem, I think, was that one of the landowners had died. It wasn't in this country. I think he was in the ruler of Kuwait or something. So therefore, that's kind of fallen away into the too difficult pile in certainly in RBWM and maybe in as far as OGAFCA is concerned. So I think this is a dangerous roundabout. This is not roundabout. This is a dangerous crossroads. Everybody's accepts that, and I think we ought to keep raising the topic with the local highways authority, which is RBWM.
So, Ken, just for your
Yeah.
information, there's been lots of chatter on Facebook about setting up community speed watch, because reality is without data, nobody will accept anything.
So we
So,
talk about this in Speedwatch.
yeah, of course, but it's just associated with that.
So as far as this committee is concerned, do you think this is a topic worth talking about and raising with RBWM?
They're roundabout at the moment.
Is
The
that
plan.
this junction here?
It's this junction here.
I have witnessed the latest accident, so whatever we do.
It's dangerous, it's a dangerous.
This,
It's so
this
dangerous that I
situation.
don't use it.
well, I do.
I
use
don't
it
go,
a
I go
lot.
down I go down Coningsby Lane and then come here that way.
It was for me, very unusual to use this road on Sunday, but I did use it and I was there just after it happened. And it's terrifying. I had a near miss there yesterday when I was coming to another meeting. Anything that helps this road.
We would not be doing this, doing our job here if we didn't.
I
Right,
agree,
yes.
it's a terribly dangerous spot.
So,
Anything.
oh,
Is
sorry.
the roundabout the best solution or would a,
The two plans that were drawn 6 years ago, one was two roundabouts and one was one big roundabout. So let's not fix everybody's mind on roundabouts.
no?
Let's say to RBWM, what's the scheme?
Yes.
I mean, I was
And see what they
I was
come
going
up
to say, would a simple set of traffic lights, which is very simple to put in as a trial, be worth considering?
Possibly, but I expect them to come up with if they've got any decent records, they
But
will
it's
come
cheap-
up with this
cheap and
roundabout,
easy,
will come up with a roundabout drawing.
That's pretty amazing.
So anyway, let's move on. Let's take that point up with them. BPC, managing speed watch. There are a number of unofficial speed watch. How many speed watch groups are there?
They say unofficial.
Yeah, but what is going on?
Is that, that's not the right description.
I didn't put unofficial down, but perhaps we can ask. John, you've got some information about this, haven't you?
I have, from the police, from Lee Turnham, which I circulated to everybody, which was in the papers. He basically, the crux of it is, I mean, I can read the whole thing if you like, but the crux of it is, there's currently two groups, one for Hollyport and one for Bray. And they'll support those two groups, but they will not support any other groups. Any others would need to be part of those groups.
Sorry, could you just
Yeah.
say what the two groups were?
Bray and Hollyport and Money Road Green. That's
Yeah, no,
his understanding.
okay.
They've provided a handheld camera to each group. But we have our own, so it may be that the police want that back because they have a limited resource. Yeah, so the Money Road Green one got one camera, but we seemingly have a few more. But I don't know where those cameras are. They've never been in the office.
Okay, so can we rewind a bit? Because the Bray Village has a group, but that group has not been active for over nearly 2 years now. Over a year, well,
Sorry.
not even a single session.
Bray.
Bray Village.
Bray.
So I know the group exists, but if you there are updates sent online from the police, you can check. And we have not had any session for
No.
almost 2 years.
No.
So I need to understand, because what you shared is sort of out of context for me. Do I understand there are people willing to start another group and the police is saying they are not allowed to?
No.
The police are, do you want to step in?
Yeah.
Can I step in?
The expert.
Please do. This is
Information.
for information.
Roger's the leader.
Please.
Yes,
Or maybe here next to me? Or somewhere?
so I once again apologise for the coziness of this meeting, but
Fine.
needs must.
Right. There are two groups registered with Thames Valley Police. As John has said, one is called Bray Parish and the other is called Hollyport Money Road Green. John is absolutely right. The police have lent one camera to Money Road Green and they've lent one camera to Bray Parish.
Can we qualify that? It's not a camera such as it's a speed gun.
You're not allowed to call it a gun.
Okay.
But
It looks like a hair,
Can't
it looks
tell.
like a hairdryer.
That's
that's
right.
the one. That's the
Right,
one.
you've got one
Right.
hairdryer.
Okay. On top of that, Bray Parish Council have bought 3 cameras.
Yes.
2 of them are hairdryers and the other is a tripod and an automatic. Do. Within Bray Parish Council group, there are a number of teams. There is a team that does Bray and the Windsor Road. That's the Jesus Hospital and the Causeway and the Windsor Road. The last time they ran a session was the 29th of April, 2024. The second group within Bray Parish Council is Hollyport Road, for which I'm the coordinator. The last time we ran a session was in May 25. Roundabout traffic lights, no point in doing. And the third group within Bray Parish Council is a group in Oakley Green. They've only ever run 2 sessions, and the last session they ran was the 25th of September, 2023.
Yes.
Yeah. A new group has been set up within the Bray Parish Council Speed Watch area, which is Hollyport Green. And they've run 1 session. 550 vehicles passed down the Ascot Road, and there wasn't one speeder. But they ran the session.
It was Royal Ascot.
Date was
Yeah,
that?
it was.
Sorry?
What was that date?
Yeah, it was.
Royal Ascot. The tri-league Royal Ascot.
It was about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
Oh,
were,
that's good, 25, yeah, all right.
and we were going to do it when the travellers were here, but obviously
Yes.
cancelled because we were.
And you're planning to do one on Friday.
Yes.
So where did you get your speed gun from?
So Sheffield with Rainbow.
The one that the police have lent Bray Parish Council was previously in my possession for the Hollyport Road group. And when Hollyport Green was formed, they were told by the lead member of Bray Parish Speed Watch that we had to share. There are still 3 cameras sitting somewhere that haven't been used for a year and a half.
Where are they then?
Who was,
Well, that's the real information.
can I ask a question?
Yes,
They're
yes.
with Claire Stewart Adams, who is in charge of the Bray Parish.
That's what I was coming to. The person who knows about this and was leading this from Bray Parish Council is not in fact anything to do with Bray Parish Council.
Correct.
Okay,
Now you.
in fact. I think that session in April 2024, because I'm a volunteer, my husband was trained to use that tripod thing, that's in the form.
Absolutely.
So my husband's one of those who knows how to set it up and stuff.
There are only 2 people who know how to use that.
I mean,
I've
I
asked several times for training.
so
And
my
don't get
husband
reply.
was trained in that. This session in April 2024 was the last session after a long break, to my knowledge. So
No, the previous one was the 10th of April.
From an outside point of view, we're not getting a bang for our buck on this.
So I know there was a lot of upset about it, but upset is coming from both sides. From residents I am supposed to represent, we want to run the speed watch. We are trained, we have volunteers, we are ready. Whatever it takes to start running speed watch for Bray, let's do it. We need to have this equipment back and we need to start doing it.
Okay, yeah, so let's ask the question, if we've got someone who's in charge of Speedwatch, who lives in Bray,
Yes.
what is she doing about it? Does she?
Can I not
Does she abdicate her
like
responsibility?
this? Can I not respond
Just
to that
organise it,
question?
then.
Has she abdicated her responsibility?
She had a spell where she was had medical problems,
Okay, well, that happens
But
to
that was-
most people, yeah.
to my knowledge, months away.
As in every organization, if the person cannot run the sessions, then someone else has to take over and run them. We cannot not have sessions for over a year because someone's unwell. I have a lot of sympathy with the.
Okay,
Can I-
Can
sorry, can I-
that's all right, that's all right, my field of view.
Well, no,
I just add, sorry
Yeah.
to interrupt you then, can I just add one thing more? I understand that there's a possibility that the Speed Watch team in Bray, which changes slightly depending on who's available, had their cars vandalised
Mm.
and therefore they stopped.
I have 2 cars. very open front garden and they were not underlined.
I understand.
No, I'm just saying that I know nothing about this and I know a lot about what's going on in the village.
Well, that's a fact.
People still want to run their sessions, so.
They
I
didn't want
heard
to do
it
it
from
anymore.
from
So,
Chris.
Let's say,
what do we,
Say something. Is that all right? I did put my hand up. I did.
well, I thought
Sorry.
you said it.
No, I didn't. I was apparently waiting for these two to finish. So we set up Honeyport Green a little while ago, and I agreed to be the coordinator. Now, the coordinator arranges the meetings. So you need to find who your coordinator is.
I know who my coordinator is.
So push them.
No, I've tried.
So when I
It's clear.
set up, I basically was told we had to share with Roger, and yet you can see, as Roger says, from the data gathered, some of the others haven't been used for years, and yet Roger and I were told we had to share. So hence my request for us to have a speed camera for under sill for us to use for Hollyport Green. So that was hence my request, because everybody else, so Oak Green have got one, Bray have got one, but we're having to share one.
Okay.
And also, I know Hollyport College is setting up their own group. So it's going to be 3. It might be,
Subgroups.
yeah, I mean, we're going to have 3 groups and we're going to be sharing one
If-
camera.
Ray's got one, or there, if there's 2 cameras sitting around that haven't been used since God was a boy, where are they? We ought to be
Two hair
sorting,
dryers and one.
we ought to be
The
sorting
big ones
sorting them
here.
out. And the way to do it is someone from the new group, or if it is indeed a new group, or the old group, ought to contact Claire and say what goes on.
Okay,
So I asked for training, sorry, to finish off. I've asked for training on the tripod and I've heard nothing.
okay, so
Please.
No.
the coordinator.
Yeah.
So,
So,
can I just say,
so let's focus this.
can I?
Yeah, so let me just say something. Let's focus this. The contact point seems to be clear. So let's get someone to go and talk in a reasonable way with Claire and go, what's going on?
Okay, so I have tried informally a year ago. That caused a lot of upset and unnecessarily private phone calls. So I'm not willing to repeat that. What I would see as reasonable is Bray Parish Council bought an equipment and we paid for it. Therefore, we, as a Bray Parish Council, should be contacting that person saying, could you please explain how is it used, release it, let other groups use it. We as a parish should be managing where it goes.
So, tell you what, I'll make a proposal, if you
Yeah.
like. And, let the clerk
Mm,
write to Claire Stuart Adams, or whatever her name is, Stuart Adams,
yes,
and request a meeting or a explanation or whatever onto the speed watch and what her plans are.
that's a very good idea. Can we just make sure this committee hears back of what was said?
Well, that's exactly what's not been done,
All of us.
because not only did I not know what was going on from being in this committee, but I didn't know what was going on from being chairman. So that 2 places is wrong. So can we minute that, John,
Yeah.
and get that done?
So that'd be the clerk,
Yeah,
Tracy, to
yeah.
contact.
If we bought the equipment, it probably should be in the office, ready to pick up
Well, yeah,
whatever.
and this office does not
needs
know
it.
where it is, or how many of them there are.
It's just the way it should go.
I like to say, I totally don't understand any of this at all, because
Don't worry,
if
not-
there's a
you're
speed
not
watch
alone.
group, it should be, and it's independent, they should be controlling and they should be having meetings and whatever,
But they're not doing it.
but they're not doing. it. So perhaps we should be effective at the level where we're saying, well, if you're not doing anything, we'll
That's
take it
the
over.
next step in the letter.
But I don't even understand any of the admin side of this, because when I told Suzanne that we would like to join this committee, she was very enthusiastic about speed watching. She said, oh, you should why don't we join up to the speed watch, do this course? And I did it, passed it, and at the end, it said you will be contacted about training on the equipment. You can't do anything till you have training, and I haven't heard a thing. And I don't know where that should come from, whether it comes from some central,
No.
presumably the central.
No,
No,
it's your coordinator.
It's
right,
a call.
so this is gonna-
That's
but I
right.
haven't even had any contact whatsoever.
Right.
And on one of the documents that were sent out, they said about the people who are on speed watch, and they said 2 people are timed out. Now, I don't know if I'm one of the people who's timed out, because nobody's ever contacted me to say you're about to be timed out. Yeah, timed out, that was expectedly.
After your
But they had-
training, you should have another practical training.
Well, I liaised with Roger and went through it, and then
I did the training for the Hollywood Green because no response.
it was simple. So, I mean,
No response from Claire, and therefore I said, well, okay, I'll do it. So
It seems to me it would be sensible that if it's just a number of scattered groups, but they're all within the pack, that we have perhaps 2 or 3 people who are effectively a central organisation who, for all the speedwatch groups.
That's exactly what the police think you've got, because they have said that there are 2 groups in Bray Parish. In actual fact, there's 2 groups, and each group's got about 3 subgroups.
there's some groups for the
Yes.
brave.
Yeah.
Money Road Green is just
It's
a handful of
Money Road
guys.
So you haven't got any subgroups, you're just Money Road Green.
No, I'm Hollywood Road.
And there's no, but you're for your
We
area,
need,
and
I
you're
need a
doing
map.
fine for the family with your area.
We've had 20
So
sessions.
there's nobody who's coordinating
so you-
the people in the parish.
So you've got an active group, and we've got a dead one living in Bray somewhere,
well,
Okay, so
And you know, green.
but
And
people that are
active.
willing to resurrect it.
people are very willing to resurrect it. We were told we're not allowed to. There are
Oh.
people who want to run sessions, who are asking where are the sessions. Moreover, we put in our newsletter every single time, please join the community speedwatch. If this is being sold as I asked the Bray Parish Council doing something, we have to be able to manage it.
That's exactly right.
it's there to be
It
done.
has to come from us.
That's why I'm sitting here tearing my hair out. Look, now let's
Money
find
Road Green have got their own.
I'm worried about Money Road Green, it seems to be working.
No, they've got their own speed camera. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
But it belongs to the police.
Doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Yes.
Yeah,
but they might want it back.
I thought they bought their own.
Anyway,
Right.
let's get this
My
lot
mistake.
straightened out before we start
Yeah.
watching these new cameras. It looks like we've got enough.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's do that
Yeah.
on a reasonable priority, please, John.
Yeah.
Leo, what would you want to say?
Okay,
Sorry?
thank God I haven't been involved in this.
Leo, it'll all be all right when they send us a map. Don't worry about it.
That's right, but just to go on, I've never been informed about anything about this, the green, I live on the green. And I hear that when the police did the eighth.
Well, of course, Liam has that.
There was no, excess, miles per hour done, which seems surprising to me. I live on them.
So do I.
But, and so does Andrew. I'm so glad I'm not in this lot though, because I mustn't have.
So to keep
I
this
don't want to
tight,
criticise.
to keep this tidy, the proposal is to write to,
Yeah,
the coordinator, Claire Stewart Adams, to, discover the status and a view to resurrection of
Yeah.
the Bray Parish Speedwatch Group.
And can I tag on there? I appreciate that you don't want to have this extra, but there are people that want to be trained on the tripod
Mhm.
in our group.
Let's get into let's get into the details of that afterwards, when we've discovered what's going on.
Can I add to that? I think we should have some sort of, and not telling them what to do, but just some central figure which is coordinating more.
That's
That's supposed to be the coordinator.
Yeah.
You haven't got one, basically.
No, I don't mean for each individual one, for the whole parish.
Well, we have got. Yeah.
Oh, she is for the whole
Oh, yeah.
parish.
It's not just for
That's
us.
Bray Parish.
Bray Village.
That's Bray Parish Speedwatch.
Oh,
Bray Parish Speedwatch.
No, she.
So that's, I've made the proposal.
Instrumental.
Can we have a seconder, please?
Yeah.
Okay.
All those in favour? Okay, great. This meeting has achieved something if it was only that,
Yeah.
okay? Speeding data from around the parish, you've seen speeding data from around the parish. I don't propose to go into it now, we haven't got enough time. If members of this committee could have a little look at it in their leisure and come back to us all. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so thanks very much. Management of SIDS. I think we have another one. I'll tell you,
Yes.
I'll tell you why I put this on this
Agenda.
Yeah, that's the word. Oh, okay. There is a SID, it's not there now, it's been moved, but there was a SID on the Windsor Road about 50 yards, near the end of Monkey Island Lane, about 50 yards away from the 50 limit. It's a speed indicator device. It says slow down.
One
You're
that
an idiot.
flashes and
Yeah.
says,
Oh, yeah.
Slow down, you're an idiot.
Yeah, we had these
Doesn't
like,
too fast, or gives you speed.
Speed.
It was 50 yards away in a 30 limit. It was 50 yards away from the 50 limit. So it was achieving nothing. Cars will have driven from Braywick roundabout all the way up to the end of Monkey Island Lane at whatever speed they liked until they whizzed through this one at 30 and then immediately jumped onto a 50-mile-an-hour limit going to Windsor. So it's pointless. So does anybody know the list of places where the speed watch cameras are fixed?
Well, they
Speed
vary.
indicator camera.
They get moved around, don't they, Ken?
Yeah.
You get used to it.
That's like, it's in the Hollywood Road.
They get moved around
Okay.
depending on.
yeah, there was a document.
similarly, I think, if we go back 2 meetings ago to traffic and highway, I think I've raised the point that if this is Bray Parish, we ought to know where they go. And currently we don't. I know there was one that really upset residents long time ago because it was put in a problematic place.
Window.
I can't put, like, give you details, but this encouraged slowing down where the capturing of an actual data was really important at that time. So we don't, and I remember someone called me and said, why did you put it there? Thinking I'm a parish
I
councillor,
didn't put it.
and I had no idea it's there. So again,
Right.
I would like to know where they go.
So would I. Locations of the speed watch cameras, or the movement of speed watch cameras.
So can I just say that, obviously, I appreciate some of the locations might not be perfect, but it has to be a council-owned post for them to be put onto.
Yeah.
So you can't just stick them on anything. If it's anything private, they can't be put onto.
This,
So that might be the problem
this is,
about where they.
this is what, Suzanne, when I pointed this one out to Suzanne, she said exactly that. And I will walk down Windsor Road and find an alternative, location, because I'm sure that in a mile and a half from Braywick to Windsor to Monkey Island Lane, there is something. So yeah, we can look into that. So the speed watch, in the speed indicator devices, SIDS, are moved around every 2 weeks, evidently, by Simone Services.
Mhm.
Now, there will be a list that they're working to. I'd just like to see the list. Can we see the list, guys?
Could we have a list every
Yeah.
meeting?
There is a document about. them.
No, the future list.
Oh,
Know where
yes,
it
but-
went.
Yeah, but he said he could.
No, but it's literally, they are,
Yeah.
there is a schedule. It says from this day to this day, it will be placed there. From this day to this day, it goes there.
Yeah.
The reason why this committee, even if it's private, confidential and in part 2, doesn't know where they go, I don't know.
We had them in
We
on
should
the
know.
Ascot Road, but there's one that seemed to be permanently in Hollyport Road, Roger.
There are permanent
No, that
ones.
doesn't belong.
There
to
are
them.
permanent.
That's-
Those are WMs.
Now, that's exactly what we would need on the Ascot Road.
Yeah.
And I would like to know how that's been achieved, because they come and go, that's good while they're there, but as soon as they go, obviously it's lost. But to have one permanently,
I haven't spotted a permanent one on Hollywood Road.
there is one that I see
It tells me
regularly.
off every time I go down there.
I didn't,
It's always, and also there's little 31-hour signs for a reason, that another little reminder. which again is quite a good thing.
Yeah.
Two is, it's about 2/3 of the way from Stroud Farm. No, it's going the other way.
Yeah, the other way.
It's 1/3 of the way from the Bray mini roundabout. It's not a mini anymore.
Yeah.
To the doctor's Stroud Farm.
Okay.
It's about there.
Yeah, it's always
On the
there.
trading estate.
Unless it's been, yeah, exactly.
It's on the trading estate.
Tectonic plate. Unless it's been stolen.
Yeah, it's at the Oakley Green.
And there's one on the other side, but the opposite.
Yeah.
Where's the Oakley Green? It's
It-
named in Sydney.
oh my God, if you drive,
Oh,
I'm really bad in explaining directions. I think that's the one. I think, I might be wrong. If you drive from Tesco's and you're driving through towards Bray and turn left and you follow that road,
Right.
somewhere near a school, there is one that flashes, but it flashes the wrong speed limit. to
Don't
be
know.
honest.
Don't know about that.
I don't know if that's the one or.
Some of those speed limits have been changed to 20 down those roads.
Yeah, but it flashes 30 and that road is 40.
Yeah, it's full time. It's full
Right.
time.
Right, yeah.
So the way round this is to ask the office to write to Simone Services and ask them for a list.
yeah,
See if we get one.
And provide us
done
with
that.
a list for every
Done that?
meeting.
I've done that. I did that before the meeting.
And-
And that's what Steve's referring to, which is in the documents that I provided. So
Yeah.
there is a list of where they've been. We don't currently have a list of where they want them to be. And that's why I put on here, could we create a list of 6 months? So if anybody's got any suggestions, fantastic.
but who decides that, John?
Well, you can come up with ideas of where you want Ascot Road.
It's in that email.
Thank you.
for private.
So let's,
Hang on, Ken. Because the reality is those devices that cost us thousands of pounds each are currently in storage.
Oh. Oops.
They're not being used because we
Wow.
haven't got a location for them to be sitting.
Okay. It doesn't have to be very complicated list. We can decide on places and just circulate
well,
them.
the quickest way to produce a list
Yes,
is to say, where have you put it in the last year?
yes. Repeat.
Then we look at it and go, tick, 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 cross. Put into new ones.
But there are limited.
They're
restrictions
currently in
that can be
storage.
put in the first
So
place.
don't put them in storage.
Use them. Really.
This is
So
where we
what,
are.
so who has given permission to put them in storage?
Who was giving
Well,
permission?
they've been waiting to be instructed on where to put.
Councils installed those.
The first I've heard they're all ready to. But anyway, that's fine. So may I suggest, instead of one of the ones going to RBWM regarding speeding down Hollyport Street, we put Hollyport Street on as a SID location, and then that will help going forward. So that was just a suggestion.
Well, no, why not indeed?
Well, haven't we had reports from there's previous information relating to that's, Hollyport Street as to these, I don't think these devices are for Holly. If you want to put one on Hollyport Street, put one on Hollyport Street. But the advice from the borough was, in previous emails was, that wasn't their recommendation. It
Sorry.
needs to be on like Ascot Road.
Understand, because when you say the advice from the borough is not a person, it cannot write emails, so someone advised, and we know who advised not to put them, and why is Royal Borough deciding where we put our devices?
I asked through this committee, through this agenda, for you to come with the places you'd like those devices to go. So why not suggest a list? And then we can go back to Simone Surveys and say, would you recommend that we put them on here? Because they're the experts at doing these
But
things.
you said
Yeah.
Royal Borough advised us against putting them,
They came back about Hollyport Street.
Yeah.
that they have a name.
Apologies, I don't mean to interrupt you here. We've had the SIDS down Hollywood Street before, the temporary SIDS. So I think that would, all we're trying to do is encourage some people who drive very fast down there to slow down. And having their intermittently on there would be
Yes.
fine. We'd sit on.
Really going very fast now, isn't it? There's usually cars here in the way.
Durians.
It's hard to believe. isn't
So I've, Chair,
Right,
Chair,
sorry.
just to answer, councillor Corsett's question, email from Derek Ingram, in Tim's absence, because Tim was not there. I thought I'd let you know that the traffic calming on Hollyport Street, both the main road and the section past the old Bupa building, would not be considered for traffic calming. As you know, these decisions are data driven, and the last speed survey showed an 85% speed of 16 miles per hour.
Yeah.
So this is not what it means. It means that we don't have data to back up any calming, ways of calming the traffic. It actually, to me, means we should put it there, because if residents keep saying people are speeding there, we need more data to prove it.
Well, if you don't put.
You've got the data from there, haven't you?
Well, he does say, as you know, the decisions are data driven, and the last speed survey showed an 85% speed of 16 miles per hour.
Hang on a minute. I'm chairman, you decided that. Let's make this, we're talking across purposes here. There's a difference between a speed, whatever it's called. There's a difference between a speed indicator. Yeah, I know that. Oh, it's the other one. Or is it a survey? Was it a survey or something? Yeah, well, there's a difference between what we're looking at. There would be no harm in putting a 30-mile-an-hour SID for 2 weeks on Hollyport Road. So let's think about doing it. Let's find out from street.
Street. Yeah.
Well, there's one down Hollyport Road. already.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's write to Simone Services and say, give us the data of where you've put them for the last.
Yes.
Well, they
Yeah.
did.
Okay, that doesn't look like a
That's
list.
not.
Well,
It
actually,
doesn't look like a list to me, John.
it is. It says outside Jesus Hospital, Bray towards Maidenhead, Bray Causeway towards Maiden. It says on the note, it says, additionally, I have found previous locations where the signs were positioned, which might
Hang
help.
on,
Yes.
let's one at a time, please.
Choose.
Right, that don't sound like a list to me, because there's not many locations there.
Mm.
There locations have we got?
There looks like 4 or 5.
Well, that's-
Rumble strips, I knew it comes to me, they're called rumble strips that you're talking about.
Every day.
We don't want that. We just want to see what we achieve by sticking one of these things on for a couple of weeks down the.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay? And there will be other places where people of this committee think it would be useful to do a similar exercise,
Mm.
and we'll take it from there.
Yeah.
So can we write?
We do. We have 2 devices. So can we have locations for them to put the 2 up, and then we can then
Yes,
move from
please.
there?
Can we have a list
The causeway.
of where they put them?
There was one.
Okay, so.
It was on the high street. It was called the Causeway because.
Hang on a minute.
it's there.
Lorraine speaking.
So suggestion is, first off, as there's nothing in the moment, the Causeway and Bray High Street. One, and you need to identify where it needs to go. So
I know where it needs to go. It used to be there.
So advise where it needs to go. The one in Hollyport Street is on the lamppost, which is the turning to the Res Tennis Club, and it going down the street, looking down the street. So the people coming up the street are the worst offenders.
Could you do, is it 3 little words? Can you do
Yes,
that?
yeah.
Yes, I can
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
that.
No, right.
We've only got 2 at the moment.
So but we need a list of 10, 12, 14 places.
So
Yes,
can we start with those? And in the meanwhile, may I suggest that all of us confirm the list that needs to be done, and then, but that kicks off getting them out of storage, for heaven's sake.
yes.
Is,
And it done.
has there ever been, all right, let's find out, has there ever been records from Simone Services as where they are, where they were?
Well, they send a report each time,
Yes.
so yes.
Why we don't have it?
And that's what I want to talk about.
Please
Yeah.
do.
So, I mean, by the way, there are 2 sites in Maidenhead High Street, one outside Jesus and one down by the
Yes.
cricket club. So, one of the first things I got information about, I learned when I came to the committee, was that they'd had one of these SADs outside Jesus Hospital in Bray Village, and the Bray Village, if you know, and I'm going to talk about this later, is 20 miles an hour. The average speeds of cars driving down there was 30 miles. But some were driving at 50. And remember, they've just gone through a single file path, and they're just coming up to another single file path where they don't have priority. And so there was that, and there was a lot of other information about the speeding in Bray and the amount of traffic in Bray. And did they offer any calming measures? So what's the point? What's the point of having this information if they don't act on it, even when it's clearly?
They got calming measure, haven't they?
Those are already there. Those were already there. They've been there for years.
Okay, no.
Right, what else can you do?
Sorry.
they don't offer calming measures because calming measures come as a result of a data that clearly says there is a problem. And what we are lacking is a data that says there is a huge problem here. I want this specific one in Bray in this other location, because as soon as people leave Bray Village, what they perceive as Bray Village, they're speeding like I don't know what's going on.
Which way?
They're just losing their mind. They're speeding out of the village towards the cricket club. They think it's a relatively straight on. So as soon as they round that corner, they just go. And
You've got cut.
You mean by the
Where-
village green?
by the village green,
From the change right now.
Big up there.
Really? What, towards the bend?
after
Yeah.
the bend, they don't see that
Just,
bend being a
just,
problem,
just
clearly.
let's reel back a bit on this, because that information about speed, I doubt came from one of our
Mm,
things. And I don't think they take the speed.
No, I think they do other stuff apart from just tell the people.
I'm
Pretty sure.
They
I don't,
do.
I think the two we've got are done
Oh,
ones. I
maybe it has done, but this one did.
think the ones we've got are done ones.
I think you might be, forgive me, Steve, you might be confusing with the speed watch camera that's on the three legs, that's recorded times, dates.
Yeah.
But again, like going back to speed watch, you need to reenact speed watch to do it.
Do you
I
That's
mean,
what we're gonna do.
yeah.
At Jesus Hospital on the 27th, September 23, the fastest car going past in the 20-mile-an-hour limit was 43 miles an hour.
tiny roads, people walking on
Because
the no,
I used to say at
Like
these
that.
meetings,
50, and they do 50 at night.
I used to say at these meetings that
This
it was
was
impossible to speed
Yeah.
through Bray,
Because
that's
that's
right.
right.
But it would appear that I was wrong. It always seemed to me, you've got two tables, you've got two pinch points.
yes.
Going through there at any speed at all is madness. Anyway,
You've got to stop it. Can I just, you've got to really say some people just don't care, which is terrible. But, you know, you can't help, you're never gonna, stop people going 3 miles.
Yes, you have to know.
It's ridiculous. You spend all time, you spend all this meeting about this one thing.
anyway, where are we? It's three quarters
15.
of an hour there, we've still got an hour and a quarter,
Okay,
right?
yeah,
So, but we don't intend to use it all.
good show.
So when-
Right, moving on.
When do we worry about it? When they kill one of the kids coming
Oh,
out
no,
of
don't
school?
say that.
Oh, don't go.
So this is speed watch, Steve, again. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be horrible. We need to go back to speed watch. Speed watch is the thing that's going to really stop it.
We've sorted out way forward for speed watch,
Yes.
let's do it.
Yes.
Yes.
But not
Yeah.
in 2 months, 3 months time, let's do it in the next month, right?
Right.
Okay.
Management of SIDS, I'm not sure that we got anywhere, I can't imagine, I can't understand why it's impossible to get a list, a reasonable list from the people that have been putting it up for years. Can we try and
What's
ask
that?
one?
We've had, I'm sure that the data has been provided in the past. I know it has.
So
It's
let's-
lying around.
let's
I'll
collate
send it.
No one's got it,
No one's got it
No.
in this committee, so.
let's collate it, then we'll do something with
I've
it.
asked for it before.
So
Did you get it?
So to try and move
I did
this on,
pass it,
to
yeah.
try and move this on, so when we want the list, we want the proper list, not an email with bits and pieces on it. We want, and also as a going forward, we want to get those SIDS out of storage, and first instance, we'll do a what three words, you provide one
Yes.
for where you are, I'll provide one for down Hollyport Street, pass it to the deputy clerk, and also circulate with everybody so everyone knows what we've suggested. And go from there, and in the meanwhile, we'll get a list together everywhere else.
And don't
Does
be
that sound
surprised-
good?
don't be surprised if the batteries are flat.
Could I make a suggestion, Chair?
So I just made a suggestion.
I know you've made a suggestion.
So,
Councillor King.
so,
Can I
no,
make another
no.
suggestion?
Hang on.
vote on mine,
Hang on a
please.
minute. Let's just one at a time, please.
Can we vote on mine, please, first, as we move on,
So your proposal
is to, first off, get the SIDS out of storage, choose locations, one on Bray High Street, one on Hollyport Street. And go around the live. And the second one is in the meanwhile, the deputy clerk to get the list from,
He's not listening.
the list from, whatever it's called, us to confirm it. Surveying services, and us to confirm if we want any additions, etc. But at least we get them used in the meanwhile. Because They're just thinking that.
That's definitely that.
Right, okay, seconded, all those in favour?
Your part of Friday. Don't mind being in that.
It's all right, we've got to apologise for the coziness of the meeting, but hopefully we're trying hopefully we're achieving something. Right, moving on.
So apologies, so that's been voted for, yes?
Yes.
Yes, everyone's happy.
Yeah.
You've got that,
Agreed.
Deputy Clerk.
Action.
You've got that.
I've got the action of getting the two SIDs to go on Hollyport Street and the Causeway. You're going to provide me with 3 little words, so
Yeah.
I'll then pass them on to the Simone surveys, and if they feel they're appropriate, they'll obviously install them in those locations. And then following that, we need to compile the list, which is what I was going to suggest.
No, this is what we voted for, was Simone to provide the list of where they were, proper list, not in this email, a proper list of where they must have a list and provide it back to us, and we'll confirm if they're correct, if we want additions.
Round.
Yeah, yeah. Are you okay with that? Have you got that?
I've got that, but I did already ask them for a list. They provided the
Well,
list.
ask them again, John, but be more specific and say, where have you put them in the last 2 years?
Okay.
Right. Safe route to Hollyport College. Over to you, councillor Walters. Tell me what you know.
I know a lot about this, gentlemen.
Can you do it quickly, please?
Okay, now can I just start?
Just so
I need to declare something. And that needs to be written down. I have just become a parent of a child who goes to Hollyport College, so I will not say a thing. That's what I need to put in the minutes.
okay,
Right,
noted.
okay. This lady wrote to me, from Bucklebury Close and said that, we can't afford the transport to and from the college, and the bus that picks up 2 children. And she said it cost her £666 a year, to take the children from Bucklebury Close on the straight up to the college, which is quite a lot of money. So £66 a year in the bus, and she's got 2 children, and there's one apparently on the way. She wrote to me and copied everything, all the word in on it, Theresa May and all the rest of it. And I wrote her a letter back pretty smartly, which I've circulated towards the House Council. So you probably know this story, but in summary, that college was opened in 2014. It was built adjacent to the busy A330 road, the Ascot Road, and the difficulty of pedestrian access was fully understood. And also, it's pointless to say to cycle there on that Ascot Road. And so, in the planning consent that was given to the college at that time, with all this knowledge, there was a condition written into the planning consent to say that, where is it? You must have a travel plan covering teachers, staff and students to be submitted and approved in writing by the Royal Authority. And the cost of all that was with the college. Somehow or other, in the intervening period, 2014 up to the present day, the college has sort of ignored that and got the residents to pay. And this is why I want to shut this up. The borough have said that they are in breach. They've got a new headmaster there who wants to make his. Is this all being?
Yeah.
I always forget that. I really do. I hate being listened to. Oh God, that is what. I copied I wrote to all the people who she wrote to, and as I say, the parish council. And he recognises that there is obligation on him, but he hasn't been paid for a certain part of it. As I say, the Royal Borough said he's in breach of the condition, and they are looking at that now. There's all sorts of things about having a pavement on the side, on the eastern side. That means land acquisition on that side.
we've been through this all once before and been reviewed many times. There's all those, the land activities, I think they are on there, the agriculture officers been involved. And, you know, can we put up, you know, traffic lights and all sorts of things, because there are sort of, there's a warning sign just to get to the school, 20 miles an hour only, and all that. But it's all been reviewed, and it's being reviewed again. She set up a petition, I think she got about 200 odd signatures, and that's where it rests. And so, and I also suggested, I'm a member of the trustee, rather, the Spore Mary Richmond Trust. They have money for this sort of thing. If these people are really short of money, which could well be, this charity meets that sort of thing, school transport. The school transport, I've been in touch with school transport people about, they all know about this, but when it all boils down, there's only one way to go to that school, unfortunately, because it was built in this position it was. It didn't apply to the handicapped school that was there before, because they, you know, they didn't go out. They were in the place all the time. So the only safe way, as I say, is to go by bus, and that happens in lots of schools all over the place. And it'd be nice to walk, but when you work it all out and go through all the things that cost. I mean, I don't want to put costs in way of anything, because I don't think you should never say you can't do it because of the cost. But yes, that's in the Royal Borough and the state of them. This is a very expensive thing to do if they do anything at all. It seems very, very difficult. And to say for the path, I mean, put even wide the path on the other side of the road, they've got to cross that road. They put a path. I wouldn't want to walk along there at 8 o'clock in the morning. There'll be no street lights along there. That's good. If it's a cycle along there, of course, is impossible. So that's where it rests. It's very much with the Royal Borough and the school to transport people, which is a sort of set up on it, literally on its own, who I'm in touch with. I've applied to Mandy, as you know, and what shall I say about? I don't want to say anything more about
The
it.
Chairman, that means there's no safe route to be discussed at that rate?
No.
Sounds like there's nothing to be discussed until RBWM come up with
Correct.
with something.
It's not responsibility of the school. But
That's exactly what he's saying, basically.
You're saying it's the RBWM.
Look, there was the travel plan, okay? There was a planning consent given by the Royal Borough to this college, knowing where it was. And there was a condition put in the plan, said, you've got to produce, Mr. Headmaster, you've got to produce a travel plan. You've got to pay for it to get this children to school. That's it.
They haven't done it.
I beat it to it because I.
Well, they have done it, yeah.
Right. Steve, in the planning application and the planning approval, there was 2 minibuses, I seem to remember, ship pupils from Hollyport to the school. They ain't done it. And now they're looking for some
Making
way.
a profit.
Well,
No, they didn't. Hang on a minute.
The school are making.
the school decided not to do
The
it.
school did it for some time, but they lack staff now, because there's probably more children going there, Scott, than staff. And that's probably the reason. So they're asked their children to pick it up. Children's parents.
What's it, 666?
What?
That's what they're charged. That's the bus fare.
So they're charging, so the school are actually making a profit out of it.
No, that's the
Normal
total cost. The parents are being asked, wrongly in my opinion, to pay for this thing, which the school to pay for in a travel plan.
Okay,
Now, look,
so
I'll tell you, I about 7 years ago, I worked for a bus company called Mulaney's, which is near St Albans, between St Albans and Watford.
Yeah.
They ran 20 school buses. On the calculations, the Hollyport College, and I know it's 10 years on or whatever, Hollyport College are charging more for the pupils they're getting than Mulaney's charge, but all their 20 bus routes, and they were making a profit. So
Right.
if they're charging this amount, I guarantee they are making a profit.
okay, so
we,
But
you have,
Okay.
Leo,
That's not-
Leo, come,
That's
sorry,
the
John.
problem.
Yeah, all right.
Well,
But that's speculation, you're being filmed, bear in mind. You're not gonna say anything yet?
Just one thing.
No.
It's a public domain.
No. You're behind Levain.
Okay.
All I was going to say is, and we're back, presume around at the time as well, is that we actually,
Conservative room.
yeah, and we actually, as a parish council, recommended it for refusal when it came to us for specifically that reason, was the fact that there was no safe route and never will be, unless they had a lot of money to purchase land, put it, so it was never going
Traffic,
to happen.
two sets of traffic
Yeah,
lights.
and it was a unanimous by the parish council at that time. But in the meanwhile, and I only know this because I do speed watch, is I know they're looking to set up a speed watch group to try and get data for that area to back up what they're doing. So I know they're going through the training program, et cetera, et cetera. So, and that again, going data led. So
The answer is, for this meeting, for this moment, nothing. Just leave it, see what comes out of the, we're only gonna complicate matters.
Just please.
Yeah.
The
There could be car
short
sharing schemes, of course.
Information, if I can. 666 is the cheapest option because it's the shortest route. Children from Bray Village or further away from the college pay slightly more than 666 per year. And I hope what I registered is a potential pecuniary interest because my child is very likely to take that bus. And this is the only thing I'm willing to say. There is a higher cost as well to some children.
So,
That's
be
it.
very, very quick, but your kids wouldn't walk from Bray to Hollywood.
My kids would totally walk because my
Bray
children
Village.
cycled to Windsor, to the previous school they just graduated from. They would totally cycle.
so we've agreed what's gonna happen. We're not gonna-
So I can't say anything.
You can be our spy in, Hollywood.
Where do they start? Where they start?
So Sophia starts in Hollywood College in September. She's the
Oh,
oldest.
this.
This September,
Oh, right.
and my son is starting Bray
All right.
Recording this September.
Right.
Very good.
Moving on, air quality report. You've seen the air quality report. Can you have a study of it and have a little, forms of opinion?
Yeah,
Thank
what's
you.
the thought behind changing the location of the two?
Well, people ask for tubes to be put in Braythroat and up Harvest Hill. Reason for Braythroat is because the residents in the village were concerned about the through traffic and thought it was, they were particularly, concerned about trucks, big trucks as they described them.
Really?
And the reason for Harvest Hill was because we're gonna have 2,400 houses, 900 of them are gonna be on in our parish.
Yeah.
And the route out of the other 1,500 on the golf course is gonna be via Harvest Hill. Harvest Hill is in our parish.
Yeah.
That's the reason for it.
Okay.
Briar's Way,
Yes.
Okay, so let me just find my. So let me just give you an update.
be soon.
I'm just,
Is this an update from Councillor Cross?
yes, so,
We locked someone out.
Actually, it's a bit out, but,
Let me.
excuse me.
So our plot failed.
so this is from, and to be fair, she's not here. Litter and parking issues in response to multiple complaints and fire tipping, worked with Holyport Literati, and I know that because my partner's part of it, clean up the area, surveyed residents in Briar's Way, collaborated with RBW and parking consultants to introduce overnight parking restrictions with 93% resident response. This is now being implemented and will be monitored for effectiveness.
Good. It's taken too long.
What we don't have in today's papers, we don't have the proposal, the drawings, the details of what's being implemented.
We haven't seen it.
No one's seen anything apart from emails that we've already seen because they are emails between councillors.
So that's fine. So we just asked.
I have filed freedom of information request to get it. Because I think that should be in public domain. It's already being painted on, so.
I well remember it took me 3 months to get RBWM to remove tipped asbestos down Monkey Island Lane.
Well, I know my freedom.
That's a health hazard.
That is being probably processed today because I've got.
In exactly the same way, we had feces and urine in a public space. And it's taken 3, 4, 5 months
So
to actually react to it.
can I, as someone who.
Joanna, then Leo.
So I've learned about the problems and I do use plural for a reason. On Price Way, well over a year ago, when I was acting in another capacity, not as a councillor, I have promised I'll do what I can. I can see some of the things are working. I would like this proposal and whatever's being implemented to be just shared publicly. There is no reason why this should be a secret.
Yeah, so where is it? Who's got it?
Councillor Cross.
We just asked.
For it, simple.
I asked Royal Borough. I went officially. Officially, you can always, if something is an official Royal Borough business, you can ask for it. It was confirmed. It should be in public domain and they're processing it.
There seems to be a lot of secret squirrel stuff going on.
Well, this is what I don't want the impression that, oh, they're not listening or they're not reacting, because actually a lot of people are listening, a lot of people are reacting, a lot of people are aware and involved. I would like people to know how many people are involved and working on helping. Some of the issues on Price Way are not traffic and highways, and fly tipping is a very gentle way of describing it.
You're talking about.
Yeah,
I'm talking urine in the street.
Yeah.
This is
or in a public
the
place.
problem with
Truckers, isn't it?
Sorry?
Overnight truckers.
Yeah.
So the problem with this place, this specific land, what looks like a parcel of land, it is owned by residents of Price Way. It is not owned by any particular individual. They don't know themselves who owns, or they know, but it's very difficult to talk about. It's literally this little square of land belongs to that house, and another square of land belongs to the other. So the way it was. So I'll keep working on this. They know.
But when this started, it was a health hazard.
Sure was.
The last time I've been there, I don't know how exactly. The last time I've been there, and that was very recently, I could not see any of those surprises on the land. To be gentle, I have learned about other problems on the other side of Paris Way. So let me just work through them. I can't put everything in the public domain yet, but they also, residents of Price Way, are really asking not to make this area known for being a problematic area. They would like to live and have life.
Well, why wouldn't sell their houses?
And they might want to sell their houses. And so just not to make it a very, they have problems.
Is overnight parking of trucks going to be banned down there?
Well, I know what I know, and this is not an official knowledge. This is why I filed the
secret squirrel
freedom of information, because I would like the official version.
All right.
There will be an overnight residence permits parking that would need to be enforced by overnight, not officers, overnight wardens. Are they there to do it? Will they? I have also spoken to our PCSO to explain to me details of how it works. So what I understand for now, Councillor Cross said at once, is that we'll do it and we'll wait how it works. I'm not a fan of waiting, so I'll do other stuff and now let's see what happens.
Can't a resident phone the police if they're
so they can.
Police?
So
Surely
okay, so
get it moved.
from the so currently no,
That is
because there is no.
It's simple. It's just
Okay, so can I just two
One at a
separate
time,
things?
one at a
should be
time,
dead
please.
easy.
Parking. There is currently no restriction, so they
I
can't
thought it was
move them.
overnight parking restriction.
Moreover, if there is restriction, the police will very unlikely move them in the middle of the night. Now, the other thing that is happening on the nearby land, I was told, and I do try to quote as accurate, unless there is something doing it as we speak, and you see it and you're offended by it, no one is going to remove someone, track someone, look for someone who just did number 1 or number 2 on a private land and track them and try to find them.
This can't
No,
go.
no,
I agree.
This has got to stop.
Yes,
And it's got to stop. It's gone on for too long.
yes.
It needs booting up the backside. That's what it needs. And someone ought to do it. And I'm really disappointed that, the borough can't see it.
yeah.
I think they can.
They can see it.
Hang on a minute, for
Yeah,
God's
that's
sake.
fine, that's fine.
I've been in touch with, or he phoned me up actually, but no, sent me an email, Bob Nash, remember him? His son.
I was going to say,
He-
Bob,
he-
died, didn't he?
Bob Nash.
He done some time ago, yeah.
Yeah.
But he told me all about this. I got hold of Helen Leonard, you know, the agricultural. And she's looking at that thing, probably the highways thing and so on, but it is being looked at. And it's a bit of a continuum, and they tried their best, I think, down there. They sold up to,
Well, there was talk of litter bins. You're not going to solve it with litter bins.
no,
What solves it is no overnight HGV
That's exactly
parking.
what it needs.
yeah.
Again, going back to what Joanna said though, how does that get enforced? I mean, this is the age-old thing, you know, you have overnight resident parking. I mean, like you've got in Bray Village and down Hollywood Street.
Well, you keep
Yeah.
nagging RBWM.
Oh, I agree, I agree.
We're quite capable of doing
You
it.
can do that as long as you like.
Well,
You can do that as long as you like. I mean, I don't know about other villages, but I think there's some limitations on parking in almost every village. But there's nobody enforces in Bray. Bray's supposed to have resident parking, supposed to have time limited parking. It's supposed to have bay only parking in the car parks. None of that's a lot of the time. And the only way that anyone ever gets issued a ticket in Bray Village is if a resident phones up the police and the police send a warden down.
That's what they should do.
They don't have any wardens for Maidenhead, never mind it.
Yeah, that's what we.
Right. We're getting to the end of this, Toby.
Yeah.
I would like on this topic, it's not that no one knows and no one's looking at it. I would say currently too many people are looking at it and there is
Exactly.
conversation who's doing more.
This is going on.
Yes. I would like to see all of those people who are concerned to just talk to each other because the problem is not only parking, not only littering, not only other, I can't name them, I can name them in a confidential. Something that police got to get involved with. It's
Relying on the literati volunteers to do that,
No.
not.
And it's supposed to be for Hollyport.
Right.
They're set up. for
and they did it as one off.
Yeah, we did.
Right, no,
Can I suggest one thing we might get used to put pressure on it is that according to the the air quality, it's that junction between Briars Way and the A308 is the worst air by quite some way. Oh, no, probably Oakley's nearly.
Yeah.
It's the worst
Really
air
Oakley's
quality
bad.
in the parish. And that must be because there's loads of HGV, I mean, apart from queuing to the roundabout.
Well, it's queuing for the roundabout and you've got fair.
it's a commercial, it's a commercial area as well. isn't it?
At the time I was speaking, we've got, the reason that's because of, there's lots of gravel trucks and the gravel pit and that sort of thing, and they stand at the, in the traffic trying to get onto the roundabout. Another reason why we're interested in Braywick roundabout, because there's going to be even more traffic coming onto that roundabout.
Yeah.
Over to you, Bob.
Well, I think, and also as well, you've got to remember the Windsor Road is the route
Doesn't
from
sound like
Maidenhead to Windsor, so.
Yeah, but actually the bit that goes through the most built up
The
part.
trouble is, we stray off the subject and we're, so what's going on? We get the information that's only in the hands of,
So what is this thing on the agenda that says protocol?
sorry, which one?
On the agenda, it says committee to suggest a protocol to main council. I've asked you about it before.
The committee to suggest the protocol. Where is it? I can't even
It's
see.
the
Last, the last.
why has there been 2 current surveys on the
Oh, ignore
Raceway?
that.
Committee to suggest.
Ignore it.
Ignore it. Okay. Right,
I'm certainly not going to talk about surveys that we had nothing to do with.
fantastic.
And some of them were, you know, my feelings about surveys.
Yeah.
They waste time. And, carry on.
Right,
So we'll approach Councillor Cross, or the office will approach Councillor Cross and ask for this committee via the clerk or deputy clerk will approach Councillor Cross for the update on the situation.
Yeah.
And then circulate around to everybody, okay?
Good.
Double yellow lines on Type 1 Drive. Got to declare an interest here. I live in Type 1 Drive. The traffic, we looked at this over a year ago now, and we didn't get enough takers. The parking in Type 1 Drive's got worse. I will pursue that and come back to this committee, if that's okay with everybody.
yes.
Why do people park there then? To go where? What?
Because they work in the car company and maybe Bray Studios.
Right.
You know, the car, whatever it's
Auto
Autotechnics. Exactly. I've only lived here 42 years.
I know that, yeah.
Autotechnics, is full of crashes and what they're
Yeah.
working on, so they tell their workers to go and park somewhere else.
Right.
Right, where are we? The missing link.
The missing link.
What do we know about the missing link?
Now declare I was extremely
missing.
vocal on social media, and I don't know if I can comment on that as a councillor, but my views are well known about the missing
Right.
link.
Well, it's ridiculous to have a.
Well, I did, as a councillor, I did distributed our newsletter on both of the Cannon Hill Drive, Cannon Hill Way, and the moment you try to leave those two, it's like a plane crashing the bed.
Thank you
It
very
is
much.
quite
That's
not.
very interesting. You weren't going to say anything. Right, next one.
So on councillor Cross's, that actually she's liaising with RBWM traffic. Actually do a survey of that to look to get that 30 miles an hour implemented, which is the first thing you have to do. So that's the update. So it is in hand. It's being looked at and it's with councillor Cross.
Really needs to be done.
That's right. Let's be really honest though, we know these things take time, so you're not gonna.
Well, the fact of the matter is someone forgot it, didn't they?
There's a minor point. It would be an anomaly if you left the 40-mile-an-hour bit between the Bailey Bridge and the A30 as well.
So the words
To
from,
include that.
apologies, Steve, from councillor Cross, I just wanted to find, so this is now under feasibility review with the highway officers.
Oh, very good.
Just to get the
Oh,
terminology
What
right.
does that mean?
So basically they're looking into it.
Tortuous.
That's what, it's the way it works. It doesn't matter if we jump up and down and scream all we like. I'm afraid it has to go through a feasibility to see if it's right.
I don't know what's wrong with reducing speed limits.
So they didn't do a feasibility study on the whole road when they had a chance to, and they decided to do it. No, of course they didn't.
Right.
Right, moving on. Someone forgot it. Update on the new Honeyport roundabout. Well, we've all seen the new Honeyport roundabout, and I've been through it times. And oh, did you?
It's done.
It's done now.
We should just move on.
So the answer is, would people in this group please monitor it?
Yeah.
And come up with a report on it, because here we are.
They're working on it now.
I've got it, because the problem is, when you're coming down the M308, you come out of Bray, for example, and you want to turn right, there's no filter there, obviously, because they've forgotten it. What happens if you're coming up the Honeyport Road to join
This
the
is
roundabout?
the sort of thing.
It's been, I do it I've done it every day.
This is the sort
And
of
that's
thing
already
that
not working.
we need to monitor. This is the sort
So
of
what you
thing
need me to do, I'm happy to try to.
right into the office.
Yeah.
And say, tell the Traffic and Highways Committee my thoughts on the roundabout from the Traffic and Highways Committee are as follows. My fear is that here we are, and it's seems to be working all right. Yeah. My fear is that everybody knows that this time of the year, the traffic is down by about 20 or 30% because everybody's on holiday. So we really need it to be monitored in September, October, to see what the real situation is. If the real situation is fine, then it's fine, good. If it's not, then we tell them.
I would like to comment,
Please.
because the roadworks have been going on for so long, and caused such a lot of congestion, that most of the traffic appears to be diverting down Forest Green and Oakley Green Road to avoid this.
And onto the
They will
Ascot.
now continue to do this, because I have found that you turn out onto the A308, there's no traffic on it.
Yeah.
Because they have all been avoiding the roundabout. Now, whether this will pick up, I don't know.
It'll all sort itself, it'll all stabilise, won't it?
People find a rat run.
They'll all stabilise and you might well be right.
I think you find that happens because, in fact, people don't look for rat runs now because sat navs tell them how to take that, where to take that.
It's not very.
No, I know.
Yeah,
They
so-
just take a route, but they've got used to it. And bearing that in mind, I think we really need to pay more attention to the Oakley Green Road and the safety of that road. Because
On the roundabout. We did our best to stop all that, just leave the thing alone. Two engineers, highway engineers said, you don't have to do it and all that.
This
I'm
is done.
just gonna say one thing.
Lovely,
This is,
Yeah, you had enough, but you wouldn't listen. Nobody would listen.
Yeah.
This is what you've got. And you had anyway, just one thing. There's no filters on the right, which they left out deliberately. They told us they were gonna put it in. And the roundabout that's been built was not approved by the cabinet. And what you can really do if you want to monitor it, I've been told there is a technical way of doing it. You have an audit on that roundabout. It will tell you whether it's working or not properly.
we're not gonna do that, are we?
Well, I'll tell you what it costs.
Principle for that.
Women never want to hear you speak, do they? Listen, it costs you about 800 quid to have it done. And it is a proper audit.
Right, monitor it, please. If we think there's a problem, then we'll have an audit.
Right.
Not spending 800
There is
quid.
the resident who
Soon.
is trying to do
Can I
this.
just say, I think we need to be very, very careful as a parish council, non-political parish council.
Oh, we're talking about Dudley's,
Yes.
Yes.
And it's become a real bash, and please, Leah, let me finish. Bashed by the Conservatives, and it's become a real political thing. I think
No,
we
it
need to,
hasn't. Not as far as I-
right,
Yeah.
let me split this up.
Yeah.
Right, as far as
Can I
you can,
yeah, can I
Be
finish
soon.
before Leo interrupted me? It's become a real political thing for the Conservatives to bash the Tories. Every single one is all over it.
Conservatives to bash the Liberal Democrats.
All right, okay.
Independence,
Okay, well, whoever don't agree with them, and I think we need to be very careful as a parish council, we're not siding it, we're doing what we think is right. At the end of the day, this roundabout is complete and just take.
That's-
Oh, you're always right.
That's why my suggestion is that we monitor it.
Yeah.
Yes, agree.
And
Yes, please. Maybe
let me say that the Tories and Councillor Dudley
Yeah.
have shot their bolt really, because
Yeah.
they've already said it ain't working. Well, we'll see. It might well work and we'll see.
Well,
Yeah, I think exactly that this guy, I can't remember, the guy didn't introduce himself and was abusing of you at the council meeting. He put something on one of the local sites. And basically he says, I'm going to have an unbiased assessment of this, and then he gave us what the conclusions would be.
Well, that's when you employ a consultant. When you employ a consultant, you say, the consultant comes in and says, who's going to pay my bills? And so that bloke over there.
That's why,
So you go up and see the bloke over there and he says, so now you're going to pay my bills? He says, yeah, well, exactly what are you looking for?
that's why we need to be unbiased.
Yeah.
No, it needs to be very unbiased because we're not political here.
So
No.
let's just monitor it, right?
Yeah.
just throw in, I mean, I drove it today and the roadworks on it already,
Yeah, they're up, yeah.
digging it up.
Yeah, well, I've got no idea what they are. What they're for.
But
Can I just-
a non-slip.
Maybe it's working too well.
Can I just say here, that actually the official date was the 24th of July finishing, so actually.
They have one more day.
They got one more day.
So,
Right, moving on.
I think they were just doing signage.
No, they were digging,
Well,
they were digging up
It
there.
doesn't matter what they're doing,
Yeah.
they're doing something, you don't know what it is. Right,
Okay.
update, where we are, Braywick Harvest Hill Scheme. I can remember when Brian Millen was chair of this, committee and was trying to get information on the Harvest Hill Scheme, Braywick Roundabout, and we never did receive it. We received a sheet of paper this size, a map of the roundabout. Well, you can imagine that to put that roundabout on a sheet of A4 paper, it was impossible to see what was going on. So I think we should express our concerns over the 2,400 houses that are going to be up Harvest Hill,
Yeah.
which is in our parish, and 900 of them are in our parish. And we'd like to see, we've heard stories of the roundabout halfway down by Stapleton Lodge. So that some coming down Harvest Hill, you have to turn left, you go down, cross over the traffic, round the roundabout and back up to the Braywick Road. Now that is going to have an impact on the 308 dual carriageway,
Crazy.
which may well have an impact on the cars that are shooting through Bray
Yes.
and the rest of the parish.
Ken, absolutely right. It should never have happened, but it's in the plan.
But is there a real
So what's the
plan?
proposal?
Yeah, in the local.
the BLP,
Is it
BLP.
the BLP? Well, whether it's a proper plan, or not, we don't know.
Roundabout, but duking up so it, wouldn't it?
What it is, if it's in the plan, unfortunately, in a plan-led system, you know, it becomes difficult to get it out there. It really does.
Right.
You're halfway there.
Right, so how are we going to do that? We're going to ask RBWM for a,
Can I understand how this?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Wayne's got a
May
hand
I
up.
suggest that actually Derek as chair writes to Tim,
Got the back.
yeah, thank you. Nancy, and ask him, what is RBWM stance going forward on that? And what are RBWM doing about it?
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
It was part of the plan.
Is that okay with everybody? Or do we want to, before we vote on it? But if that's okay with everybody, we'll do that.
I think we just need to do,
Definitely.
I agree in principle in writing. I do not know if anyone who's in any way involved in BOP should be involved in that letter. Can someone who's completely neutral to the topic write to the, is it an officer or can we just not put someone who had an expressed in view?
Derek is chair, it's perfectly okay for Derek as chairman to write to
Yeah.
Tim Gollenbeck.
I hear where you're coming from. Would it be Derek and the clerk? Clerk. Does it matter, but,
No, I don't think it matters. No, see what sort of reply we get.
Yeah.
Mm,
Derek,
okay.
Derek wasn't instrumental in the parliament. So. He
he helped write it,
Oh, I'm
So
sorry.
it's a very long while ago and it's changed a lot.
Yeah.
As he will tell you. Right, because moving on then, we've got action there. Okay, got that, John?
Yep.
Right. Impact of AO 21. My concern about the impact of AO 21 is that, not a million miles away from AO 21, we're going to have the Sawyers Close redevelopment, which is currently there are temporary boards up around part of that site, not the flats themselves, but around the site going into the side roads. There's already boards up there. I think they're in the process of thinking about demolishing it. And that there are currently something like 225 dwellings in Sawyers Close flats, and the plan is for nearly 500. So that's another 250 dwellings impacting on that part of the parish. AL 21, the oldie, and so there's going to be a lot of traffic. Any thoughts on that, Martin?
Well, no, there is, I mean,
Well, yeah.
um.
But the point Leo's made, it's in the plan and we're not going to change it. L21 is approved. There's no specific requirements on traffic movements, etc. How we control it. I really don't know.
But we objected very strongly to the exit from AL21 being onto the Deptford Road. That should never have been allowed because the pressure on that junction with the Deptford Road and the Oakley Green Road is going to be horrendous. Vision is already poor at that junction.
We don't use it anymore.
And most people are then going to go down St Ruddles Way,
Yeah,
go
yeah.
straight down that roundabout.
Exactly what I do.
So, yeah, which people do now, and they're now going to have another 400 odd, well, 900, shall we say, vehicles going down Ruddles Way to access the 308. Which is really important. That's what's going to happen. So there's probably not a lot we can do about it now, but that should never have been allowed to happen.
Well, I think we can keep it in the forefront of RBWM's mind, making it as easy as possible or as workable as possible. It may not be completely workable, but we can at least keep their eye on it.
There's no reason why they couldn't have moved onto the roundabout, the other end of that development.
Furthermore, there's pending development on Bray Studios, which we've yet to see what that's going to be like. And there is also in the planning permission that Bray Studios got last time, there is a roundabout on the A308 and a dual carriageway entrance into Bray Studios. They've got approved, but they haven't done it. They won't.
I was just going to say, yeah, AL21. I wish I lost 2 hours of my life sitting at the sitting at the panel meeting where it was very obvious the councils had never been to this place and realised what an issue that would be onto that road. I think that's what we should do is if Derek is happy to do it as well, not just ask about what's happening at Harvest Hill, but also what's happening there.
Yeah, because we've already on many occasions we've said that as Bray Parish is concerned about traffic south of Maidenhead.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, any traffic south of Maidenhead is in Bray Parish.
Yeah.
End of story. And what should happen and was suggested many years ago is another spur onto the motorway between 8, 9 and 10.
Do you remember
We suggested it, which would be, remember many years ago, and I'm talking 40 or 50 years ago, there was going to be 3 motorway boxes around London. One of them, the middle one was going to be the North Circular. The next one was going to be sort of around here. And the next one was going to be, over there somewhere, nearly in the Reading. But that's never happened. And it would be fairly simple to connect the M40 with the M4 with the M3, which would be that one side of that box. And we suggested it many years ago.
Yeah, do you remember when the first BLP was first carried? We made the suggestion.
Yes, I remember.
That's why Junction 8 line was like that, because it was the farmers that.
Yeah, and because when they built the first motorway, they shunted it onto the A4 just past Maidenhead.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so Derek, is that all right with everybody?
Yes.
Hang on,
Job for Derek?
Ken, sorry, I just,
Yeah, please.
and the only thing we can attempt to monitor, one of the arguments I had was the proximity of the Audi entrance and the AL21 with no pedestrian crossing points in the middle. Work is about to start on AL21. We'll shortly finish the archaeological excavations, so work will commence shortly. And what we can try and do is monitor, those 2 exits. Of course, to start with, it's just going to be lorries and contractors going in and out, but at least see how that operates. If that's causing problems, there's an argument to say, well, the fire exit onto the A308 or the access for fire services is sort of more opens up to be a more general access point, but otherwise, we're pretty much stuck with what has been approved.
Are you in a position with your gang to conduct a ad hoc survey around
Certainly want
report,
to, yeah.
reporting?
Yeah.
Please do.
Chairman,
Yeah.
through you.
Are you all right, Leo? You need some water?
No. I think you'll find that the lead member for planning for highways may be sympathetic to some arguments like that. He has proved recently with experience, let's put it that way, because I can't say more than that.
Well, I can say a bit more than that, Leo.
Yeah.
The lead member for highways is Jeff Hill, and Jeff Hill has been in the local press in the last couple of months saying that he's worried about the traffic south of Maidenhead. Now, whether that's because we told him, but I think it probably is. Now, the immediate reaction to that I'm really worried about is what you're going to do about it.
So hence, direct writing to Tim G.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Hang on a
let's
sec.
close the
Yeah.
wrap up
Should we
nicely.
just tidy up on that? What do we want to write, Derek, to write to Tim about in terms of that? In terms of AL 21?
Because we
Specific
have, well, I think it will come out of our,
survey.
I think it will come out of any survey from Martin.
Right.
It'll come out of the pollution information because we know that corner at the Green Oak is on the limit.
Yeah.
And we're adding 450 plus 250 at Sawyer's Court. We're talking about sums. 600, is that?
So we'll just wait on the feedback from the survey. Is that what it's saying?
More dwellings.
So the action is for Derek to include, when writing about Harvest Hill, what is RBWM's future vision of what they're going to do to manage the traffic. Harvest Hill, obviously, because of the thousands of houses, and AL 21 area on Oakley Green Road is because of the additional houses, including Sawyer's Close.
And we can tie that up with a nice little bow, because we have a topic here, and I'm jumping one, so excuse me. We have Windsor Road Traffic Management. And that's perhaps what the letter ought to be called. Because we've got the studio development, we've got 450 houses in AL 21, and we've got Sawyer's Close on an already stretched.
My observation on that would be that they'll just push back and say that all that the information on travel is on the actual planning portal.
Let's
digest that.
Let's see.
Okay.
Okay, right. Great traffic through the village. Steve, wanted
I
this,
don't know how much detail you want to go into.
not too much.
It's basically, I suppose I should be clearing into, well, certainly clearing into, because I live the south end of the neck, above Paula's hairdressers.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And also I have recently and even more involvement in that. Basically, that area is the East Maidenhead bypass. I mean, over the years, it has turned from being a bit of a backbone into things.
And you know why?
And well, there's the Oldfield Road, traffic lights allowing right-hand turns, and Stapleton Way, both significantly contributed to
Stapleton Way, nobody moving from the Thames Bridge, say, to our parish would go through Bray, if they had any sense, and if the traffic all worked properly. Because there's 2 pinch points and there's a 20-mile-an-hour limit, you wouldn't do it. The reason people do it is because Stapleton Link Road has given them an access from there onto the 308 dual carriageway. And then they get to the 308 dual carriageway and find that it's solid. And it's solid because they can't get on to the Braywick roundabout, because the Braywick roundabout doesn't seem to work properly. And if they're trying to get up to the motorway or wherever, it doesn't matter.
So what they do is they think, oh, what are we going to do now? I know what we'll do. We'll bunk on the Stafford and Relief Road, whiz through Bray, get out and go down through Hollyport and get onto the 330 south of Hollyport or in Hollyport. That's what they're doing.
That's why the Bray Parish Council all those years ago would not let the Stepperton link happen. They put a stop to it.
To also, I completely agree with everything you said. To add
That's a
to
first.
that, no, that's not a first today. To add to that, it does seem like nowadays navigations are learning the patterns of people's driving, and the quickest route is through Bray. Whatever we do with it, how narrow it will be. The navigation, if someone's not from this area, it might be not a conscious choice.
Because
They
the
will go
sat-navs
to Bray
now
Village.
Tell you when there's a tailback.
Yes.
And so if they go, oh, there's a tailback on the dual carriageway from the station up to Brayley. So yeah, how about going down
To illustrate how sometimes absolutely funny that this gets, my car was suggesting I go through Old Mill Lane, that is a closed road, because of the roundabout. And then we went to a point one day when it suggested I turn around on the roundabout and go back 8308 to go through. So the way people drive nowadays is also that they don't know the area sometimes, and they just not rely on what's in the data in the system.
It used to be possible to get down Monkey Island Lane from the
Yes.
way all the way into Bray.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, it doesn't seem to be updated on the system.
Because all the drunks used to do it.
We have noticed, and this is, again, this is just, this is not a data I can back, but we have noticed times where people seem to be driving through the village, going into the village, Bray Village, instead of going straight. And the number of cars suggests that it must be something to do with the systems, navigations, and how they analyze the traffic. Not only, but we explain to people in the newsletter that this is not a good idea. It's really
So what's your point you wanted to raise, Steve?
Right. The people who drive through the village, particularly the just and the amount of issues are increasing significantly. The borough's never expressed any help. The only thing I can ever remember them suggesting was a completely ludicrous idea to have a one-way system, which would involve buses going around the old Dutch house, which is clearly completely impractical, as the village is told.
Too big, isn't it?
There was a time when the M4 was being upgraded. We had a lot of heavy transport in the village. There was a group set up. I can't remember who the chap's doing it. I can find out from the public, which he was a bit involved. Basically, there was a meeting, and they did try and do something about that, because basically it's a riot, although the only councillors, either borough or parish, who went to that meeting, I think, or so somebody told me, were in fact a couple of independents, one from Old Food and from. And basically, I'll give you some examples of the sort of things happening. 8 o'clock on the 3rd of July, which is a time when there's quite a bit of traffic, there's standing traffic coming, heading northwards at the end of the net. Basically, a cat was run over by a speeding car. 2 or 3 people witnessed it. It died in the garden of Jones' house, and the garden stopped. 10 days later, one of the biggest problems is at particular weekends is late night speeding. People do it all the time. I'll tell you about informal monitoring I've done. Basically, another cat was killed at the Bailey Bridge. Cat was put on the side of the road, and the Jesus Hospital people took it in the morning. The day after that, I had to go to Hollyport surgery. I got back to the village at 11 o'clock. At the time, I had a problem when I thought that wasn't my own surgery. It was diabetes. I was walking across the road from Sunflower Cottages. The car came up from the north of the net. I reckon he was doing closer to 40 than 30. He didn't stop. He didn't slow down. He just swerved around me.
So,
So these things are happening all the time.
what is your suggestion?
Well, I think we need to put in traffic calming measures. I think they need to be put in. There's loads we can do at almost or very low costs. We could have basically the herringbone speed markers. You don't need to have a camera. If you drive on the M4 with the speed markers, the cameras which haven't been there for 2 or 3 years, people always slow down. You could have 2D speed bumps. You could have, but we have no pedestrian crossings anywhere in the parish, do we? Don't we care about pedestrians?
Windsor Road, we got one.
Are we?
And by the school.
But it's got very expensive traffic lights on it.
No, yeah, sorry, I mean, even zebra crossings.
Yeah.
Essential. We could have speed camera boxes without the cameras. That slows people down all the time. The one on Windsor Road has an effect on the traffic because it's got the speed down to 30 when people go past that. I mean, I've got a whole load of other things which I can, but I basically think we should ask for speed when it doesn't, we don't have to have big lumps in the road to have speed. I mean, you could get to the other level. You could have, for instance, one of the suggestions with the traffic thing was we could have a height restriction on the bridge.
So you want to do, Steve? Just put that note on the note and circulate it around. And then we'll discuss it in some detail. We haven't got time to start something in detail. And I want to give the other topics, we've only got 2 or 3 more. I want to give them a reasonable time as well.
Okay.
So if we can do that,
I'll do it as a forward part of everything I've got in here.
And maybe then, we'll see how Derek gets on with his big letter, and then maybe we'll for another one.
And by the way, just to complete my.
No, that's a different.
Tracy, the clerk.
Katie.
Oh, Casey.
Tracy's the clerk.
Just to complete my declaration of interest. Those cats from mine.
No.
On that.
Right. Okay, so we got that, John?
Yeah, Steve to circulate.
Yeah, that's right. Hollypool traffic through the village. Mr. Taverner, Councillor Taverner.
Well, undoubtedly, in the last few months, the traffic along the Ascot Road has increased dramatically. I know a lot of it is to do with the new roundabout because people are avoiding Hollyport Road, so they come by the Ascot Road, and it's put an awful lot of pressure on the Ascot Road
3,000 vehicles.
through the.
It was 3,000 vehicles per day, plus the extra.
It's huge, and of course,
Ginormous
many more are going
per day.
down in front of the lodge, slip road, as Angela would call it, and also coming the other way. There's queues of traffic coming across the green, trying to get out onto the 330. That junction itself is a potential problem and does have some pretty close misses, that's for sure. So there's been a huge proliferation of tipper trucks and grab lorries, and I know that horse boxes have got to go through for polo clubs and that, but
They were quite big,
but they're not actually anything to do with there's lions, that sort of thing. They're going through, probably going completely different area, just simply going along the Ascot Road. They are huge, and there's all sorts of things. We know that Doyle's machinery lorries go through. I took a photo from my bedroom window a couple of days ago, but it was a quarter cabin type thing going through. That takes up
That's
most of the road.
80,000 tons.
I mean, so it needs to be monitored. I mean, the strips that go across the road that monitor traffic flows, speeds and that sort of thing. They were there, but getting the feedback that we talked about today is very difficult, and it would be worth hearing and knowing about. But you do wonder whether allowing traffic to turn left in front of the lodge is really something. And also, I mean, traffic comes up that way and out onto the 330 when it shouldn't be doing that. It's highly dangerous.
Yeah, I saw a guy do that the other day.
I was outside the lodge. I was going to take a photo of the water that had built up again. And as I stood, a woman in a white VW Golf came speeding past me, she obviously knew what she was doing because she was going as fast as she could. So she got away with it, got to the top, and a mini comes round. I mean, it's a dangerous situation. There's not enough warning. People drive up there, they then get to the end, there's a no entry sign. They're committed. They're not going to turn around and go back. It needs something at the bottom, really, to say no through road, etc., etc. But the only people that need to be going there is the lodge, but that's not being used now, and the people that live in Warden House and that. So it's really time for that to be probably shut off.
It would be possible to put no entry except for access, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
If that's actually there. And it's in the road as well. I mean,
Yeah, there are no entry except for access.
and at the bottom, by the toilet box, I mean, it is a dangerous. I mean, you got Hollyport Street and that little triangular junction. That's a potential hotspot as well, particularly when traffic's not taking due care and attention and driving too fast. So, is that right, Lorraine?
Okay, boss. So, yeah, I'm sure you want to say something. Hang on a minute. Okay, boss. So what we said to Steve was, can you just write a few bullet points on this? Submit it to the office for circulation, and then we'll take it further. I will say with the roundabout, the infamous mini roundabout, will have distorted a lot of the traffic flows around here.
It will probably,
For a fair way around.
and it may change a little bit.
And it may change a little bit. So let's kind of keep our powder dry,
Yeah.
just see what's going on, but be very aware to what might be going on.
Just remember, if I made that Angela wanted to make a point.
or does that mean I'm coming in? I don't know, Lorraine, that
Well,
can
no,
have
Lorraine-
hand ups.
Lorraine will hand up and then we're over to you. We've got 10 minutes.
It'll be very, very quick. That's one of the reasons why we set up the speed watch at
Right.
the area.
Sure.
And we're also going to monitor how many cars are turning down by on the green, which is what it's called, that road. Because when we stood and clicked over 550 cars, I know it was all Ascot, but actually there was probably the same amount going down by Hollyport Lodge. So, as Bob said, and I've asked for it before, is for that access to be closed off. It's not needed as an access anymore, and it's a rat run. And I've seen HGVs go down there as well.
Buses on divert.
The reason why the HGVs turn down there, and they're actually going locally, because you've got the works going on at Low Road Green. They are turning down there because, like the buses, when they closed the Hollyport Road back in the winter before Christmas.
Yeah.
They haven't got the turning circle to turn round by the George. So even the buses had to turn down that slip road.
The buses
And
are
that's the
a
reason.
joke, aren't
Yeah.
they?
It's not, it shouldn't be there at all.
If they can get round that corner with that wall, without taking the wall out, they can get round that
No,
junction.
but what I'm saying is, it's why they're doing, they shouldn't even be there, full stop.
But one of the things I know Bob and I talked about was getting Google updated. So there's a link to a website that you can say that instructions to go through Hollyport Green, instead of sending it down by Hollyport Lodge, there is a link you can use that actually saying this is incorrect. You should all traffic should go via this route, because I think that's what they're doing as well. They're sending all traffic.
Yeah.
Which route are you opposed?
Okay, right.
Right.
Where they always go.
I've got that.
You had, but Angela was
Yeah, no.
twice before, so let's go with.
Oh gosh. Just the
You've got it
background.
written down.
Well,
Oh,
I've
yeah.
got written down is obviously speeding, lorry watch, all of that is something that I've been doing for 30 odd years or more. And I've actually lived in the parish for over 40 years, and my husband was born and bred. So we've seen a lot of these things evolve. Heavily involved as well, why we've got the HGV restriction. The problem we've got now is how do we stop all of this? And by listening to you lot, it's not just the Ascot Road. I think we've got it everywhere. And one of the big things since 2020, we've got lorry watch down, we were calming that down, the speed watch was calming down. But since 2020, things have changed. And one of the huge areas, which is what I've got written down here, is SatNav. Because SatNav only sees motorways, A roads and B roads. So SatNav, so all motorways are equal. all A roads are equal, which means when they're giving information, they are assuming that every A road is like a trunk road or a dual carriageway or a main road, and B roads are not. So they are always going to put the motorways and the A roads out there. It's been muted, and it's been something that's been looked at the parish council before, is because the A330 is a non-primary road, which is why when you talk about SIDS and where they're going to go, there isn't the road furniture, as it was called by Councillor Cross, because it is a non-primary road. They don't have them. You have the odd street lamp everywhere. The only way we are going to, we can't stop that, and it is what it is, and it's too big for us. The only way you're going to do it is what's been muted many times before, is you've got to change the prefix from A to B. And that was the way of doing roads when there were councillors in the borough and everybody else that knew and understood how roads work. That's all behind us. Everyone says A roads are A roads. The only way you can do that is, like for our road on the Ascot Road, I'm there at the moment, is you either turn it to the B330, but more correctly, it should be the B330, and it should be B30 there that way, because like the A332 that is on one of the Bracknell roads that does the same job is now known as the B3022. And so that's why, so the Forest Road area, which was more of the non-primary area, they actually changed the prefix, and that's how it, and that's the only way we can stop this, and that can happen and help all of us in the parish. And it was going to happen, but then certain councillors are not here anymore. So it's
We don't know who you're talking.
so that is really the only thing I can add, because the speeding, the amount of traffic is there, and what we've seen obviously with all the roadworks, everything gets impacted. The Harvest Hill with all the houses, that's why we're getting impacted.
Only going to get worse, isn't it?
So,
That's all there is.
so we capture that.
I can send this to the master. Yeah, would you like me to do that? I can,
Yeah,
I can actually, because the original part was one I did for the parish council sort of 10 years ago. But since then, it's that. You might do.
Anyway, yeah,
That's it. Okay.
please. Okay, horticulture, Windsor Road traffic management, we can take that onto this letter. Later the next, we're done.
But again, just on that, nobody could not support that Angela supported, did they?
I don't think so. I know.
No, I mean,
I know in Essex where it's been done, you know, the Epping Road is now the B something road. It was the A11, it's now the B something road.
apparently even nearer, it's Epic, you mentioned
Epping,
Oh, epic.
16th of Monday.
You've heard something else.
Angela mentioned it more nearer that.
Yeah.
Woking or Bracknell?
It's Bracknell as well, so, because Bracknell
There's
changed many
nothing to
roads.
be against, is there?
No.
Well, it certainly can be done, and there's no reason why we
Yeah.
shouldn't try it.
Yeah.
Do we know if that's true of all that?
Just a minute, I
Yeah.
haven't finished.
Oh, sorry.
No, the other thing, yes, it's so dangerous that, that they go on the pavement for some of the Ascot Road, just
Oh,
on
no,
the
Yes.
driving on.
And
And
in
the other
this
thing
case,
I've been on the pavement because there's something funny big coming by the other way, yeah, surely.
but that road outside the lodge is actually called Hollywood Road.
No, it's not, it's called green.
I thought it was the road,
No.
Hollywood Road.
It's
But it's on
green.
the app,
Is
it's
it?
all right. I mean,
Okay.
it gets
All right, I just thought,
different names.
but I haven't seen, I use that. Clear into, I use that.
So you don't want traffic down there, do you?
What?
You don't want traffic down there.
I don't get a lot of traffic down there personally, but I go walking over
Because you
there.
walk the
but, it's not so bad. And you can guess there's going to be a hell of a lot more traffic down there than that, the Boca
Yeah.
example.
Okay,
Thank you,
You
Chairman.
need a
all
half.
right, thank you. We've,
We know if that's true of all traffic.
Yes, and the other thing that, particularly if you use Waze,
Yeah.
the other thing you could do in Waze, guys, if you want to do it, you go onto Waze and you say, oh, there's just been an incident in the middle of
That's right. You
Bray
can
Green.
potholes.
the road green.
Oh, yes, yeah.
So So
To divert all the
it's
traffic.
it's got a real problem there,
It's a good
and they actually push that.
What?
It stops traffic going.
Then it's
places in it.
this person's life.
Then you'll be arrested.
Right, anyway, thank you very much.
Very good.
Next meeting is 10th of November. Hopefully we've achieved something or we started something rolling.